Halstead Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
School girls wrestling this evening. We have a doubleheader actually, so we have boys and girls varsity wrestling duels coming up here inside the Lisbon High School Gymnasium. The Lisbon Broncos will take on the Center Cass Squirrels, and that is your matchup here. Boys and girls wrestling on yourliveevent.com. We're live from Lisbon High School Gymnasium, broadcasting to you from our Stock Growers Bank broadcast booth. This evening we're up high in the crow's nest on the south side of the gymnasium in our Stock Growers Bank broadcast booth. Your small town bank, big time partner with Stock Growers mobile app experience, banking at your fingertips anytime, anywhere. Bank near, so you can go far with Stock Growers Bank. Member FDIC and equal housing lender. As the Broncos, coached by Jake Revere, they come in off a very successful run into Minnesota as they attended the Bemidji Duels and the Bemidji Invitational tournament out there from the 9th and 10th. That was over the weekend, 9-10 January, and they claimed the individual championship part of the tournament and also the dual team champion. So Lisbon coming off feeling their oats a little bit after that trip to Minnesota, coming in here tonight against this duel against Central Cass. So that's what we have in store. The Broncos versus Central Cass Squirrels, and the girls wrestling first. We're going to step away. We'll come back for more on yourliveevent.com.
It's a place to set it free. What if the point of banking wasn't to bank at all, but to put your ideas to work? What if your bank asked, what if a little more? Well, what if we told you we do? We're American Bank and Trust, where what if meets why not? If you're ready to change what you get out of banking, start a relationship with us. What if you made the move today?
No job too big, no call too small. Bears Home Solutions handles it all. You need a bear in there, oh yeah. Keeping homes just right with expert care. Let our stars guide you when repairs scare. You need a bear in there.
Check out bearshomesolutions.com.
Hey, welcome back here at yourliveevent.com as we have North Dakota High School Girls Wrestling to start out the evening in our doubleheader. The Lisbon Broncos take on the Central Cass Squirrels inside the Lisbon High School Gymnasium. The Broncos on their home mat hosting the Squirrels this evening. And Lisbon, as I said, coming off that successful weekend over in Bemidji at the duels and invitational tournament over those 2 days. The Broncos claiming the individual team championship and also the dual team tournament champion. And Central Cass last active, looks like they were last active at the Bismarck Rotary also last weekend. So Central Cass and Lisbon both coming off big tournaments as the Squirrels traveled out to Bismarck for that Bismarck Rotary tournament. The Broncos started out their season with the Lisbon dual team tournament. So Lisbon's been focused on dual team wrestling as they hosted their dual team tournament on the 5th and 6th of December. And in that tournament, they went 6-1 over 2 days of wrestling. They were defeated by Bismarck High in the championship of that tournament as they faced a number of teams from North Dakota and Minnesota in that tournament. And they finished that 2 days of duels with a 6-1 record. And then Lisbon's also been active in duels against West Fargo United, Fargo, and Grand Forks. And then they did have a dual schedule with Carrington that was canceled. And that was back on the 18th of December. Broncos wrestled in the Border Brawl that was out in Ashley, North Dakota on the 20th of December. They came back over the holiday break, wrestled at the Rumble on the Red, had another good tournament heading out of Christmas break as they finished 4th at the Rumble on the Red in the girls tournament there at the Rumble, and then they headed into Bemidji fresh off the Rumble on the Red for that dual and invitational tournament last weekend. And just looking at some of the other duels around the region this evening, these are in girls wrestling, so girls wrestling duels around the state. Looks like we have Northern Lights at Pembina County North, and then it's a triangular as well as Valley City at Pembina County North. So Northern Lights and Valley City in a triangular with Pembina County North tonight, and that looks like that's what we have on our docket this evening for North Dakota High School girls wrestling, or at least that's what's scheduled. So the Broncos going through their senior night with their girls. As we'll just turn it over, kind of get the center of the mat. See if we can zoom out a little bit. So senior night recognition. I also call it parents' night. So some schools do parents' night, some do senior night. For Lisbon, it's senior night. So senior night recognition for the Lisbon girls wrestling team.
Veda Carblum, daughter of Lee Carblum and Rachel Carblum.
And you look at the number of seniors the girls have on the squad. They have Aurora Shelton, Lila Gillespie, Veda Carblum, Violet Heen, Alexis Ranke, Ava Carblum, Cora Oster, Ellis Adden, Nevaeh Buffett. All seniors this year on the squad. So they anchored the Lisbon Broncos the last 4 years as girls wrestling kicked off in the state 4 years ago, and they've been on the team and looking and in the hunt there for a top 5 finish at the state tournament this year, and looking to improve their placement in the dual team portion of the tournament. So they have to qualify yet on the individual in the dual team side, but the Broncos, you're putting in the time, putting in the duels, and putting in the work in the tournaments in the duels this season to improve on their individual and dual team tournament performance from a year ago at the state tournament.
Nevaeh Buffett, daughter of Christy Cleve.
And looking at the latest Dakota Grappler rankings for girls wrestling, so just like to thank Dakota Grappler out there for publishing the rankings that they do have. They're ranking number 2 for girls wrestling, as well as they publish the Class B boys and Class A boys. Preferred North Dakota girls wrestling, their top 5 teams individual rankings wise. Number 1 team in the state is Bismarck Legacy. Number 2, Bismarck High. Number 3, Minot. Number 4, Pembina County North. And number 5 is Mandan for those individual team rankings or individual team placement rankings and predictions for the state tournament. Number 1, Bismarck Legacy. Number 2, Bismarck High. 3, Minot. 4, Pembina County North. And number 5 is Mandan. And then looking at your dual team rankings, your top 5 teams, according to Dakota Grappler, Bismarck Legacy, Bismarck High, number 3, Minot, number 4, Dickinson, number 5, Pembina County North. So those are your individual team rankings, and then your dual team rankings, your top 5 in the state of North Dakota. That was as of 8 January. And those rankings, believe those rankings came out. And as we preview our duel this evening, you have your Dakota Grappler girls individual rankings, so some of the ranked wrestlers and possible matchups we could have this evening. Is we have at 100 pounds, number 8 ranked in the state, Lauren Osmonstead. At 100, or for Central Cass, at 106 pounds is Anna White. Anna White moving up from 100 pounds in the hunt for another state championship. She's ranked number 2 at 106 pounds for Central Cass. At 124 pounds, we have Cadence Golding for the Lisbon Broncos, ranked number 1 at 124 pounds. So 118 pounds for Central Cass is number 8 ranked Emma Dutt. 130 pounds, number 7 ranked Adeline Hansen of the Broncos. 142 pounds, number 7 ranked Emerson Schwab, and number 3 ranked Grace Lamar at 142 pounds. And 170 pounds, we have number 5 from Lisbon, Ava Carblum, and at 250 pounds, number 6 from Lisbon, Ella Sad. So those some of your ranked wrestlers and possible matchups. Not sure what we're going to see for these matchups tonight, as the coaches able to move wrestlers, juggle their lineup up and down, just kind of sees where everybody weighed in at. I know Cadence Golding had been down at 118 pounds for Lisbon at the dual tournament, so possibility she could bump down if needed. And then going over our starting lineups in just a moment, but kind of looking at that matchup at 142 pounds, what it looks like right now is Schwab. Looks like Schwab and Lamar won't face each other this evening at 142 pounds. So just try to keep my eye on that and see what happens there. Not sure if either of the wrestlers weighed in tonight, but we got the national anthem coming inside the gymnasium, so we're going to step away.
At Cass County Mutual Insurance Company, they provide services to homeowners, farm owners, tenants, seasonal dwellings, mobile homes, and farm and personal liability. Cass County Mutual Insurance provides local service to all policyholders and is working with clients in 19 counties in the southeast portion of North Dakota. For more information about Cass County Mutual Insurance Company or to find an agent closest to you, go online to CassCountyMutualInsuranceCompany.com and use their agent locator. At Castleton Lumber, they want to be part of every stage of your building project from the ground up. Let them assist with planning your project timeline in a way that's affordable and efficient. Castleton Lumber has everything you need to get the look you love with windows, siding, roofing, and doors. From choosing the right materials to the finishing touches, you can count on the folks at Castleton Lumber. Stop in and talk with the crew today or call 347-4471. That's 347-4471. Since its beginning, the Central Cass Booster Club has generated and helped sustain fan interest in the men's and women's athletic programs at Central Cass High School. Through the years, that mission has broadened to also enhance the youth programs throughout the community. For more information, search Central Cass Booster Club on Facebook or email centralcassboosterclub@gmail.com. That's centralcassboosterclub@gmail.com. Go Squirrels!
At the Central Cass School District, excellence isn't just a goal, it's our mission by empowering individuals to make a positive impact. Central Cass School District is dedicated to providing students with an innovative curriculum supported by a variety of co-curricular activities from athletics and the arts to leadership and service, aiming to provide excellence between students, staff, family, and community. Central Cass School District, fostering student excellence by inspiring individuals to be their best.
Growers, prepare your fields and yields against the wet conditions today and beyond with the Drain Tile project from Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. Drain tiling will improve and increase your yields and land values for years to come. Chad's Excavating provides free detailed estimates, and with over 40 years of combined success, they provide professional installation and service. Call Chad today to prepare for your future and any questions that you might have. That's Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
Hey, welcome back here at liveevent.com as we have two mats set up inside the gymnasium this evening as the Broncos will face the Central Cass Squirrels, starting out with our girls varsity duel between Lisbon and Central Cass. Just finished up with our senior night recognition for the Lisbon Broncos, and now wrestlers lining up there for their starting lineups and face-off inside the gymnasium. Bronco girls with some of their Bronco buddies. Our little elementary school wrestling team out there with the Bronco buddies for the with the varsity wrestlers. And just to situate you or orient you to the gymnasium, we're on the south side of the gymnasium up in that Stock Growers Bank broadcast booth. We have two mats out here in front of us. The duel is on the mat on the west side, and then they'll have some prelims. And I know on the boys' side, there's only 3 prelims tonight, and not sure if they're going to run those right away or if they're going to wait until the boys varsity duel. But only 3 boys prelims this evening. Not sure what the girls are. I haven't seen. So actually, it looks like we're going to have 2 girls prelim bouts and 3 boys prelims. And we have 2 mats set up inside the gym. So that prelims will go pretty quick, I think, and we'll just be able to focus on the duel on the mat on the west side of the gymnasium. So as these girls line up and getting ready for the lineups, starting lineups inside the gymnasium for our duel this evening between Lisbon and Central Cass. Look at the kind of the tail of the tape. Look at last year's squads for both teams and what they returned. Lisbon last year at the state tournament scored 61 points. They placed 9th at the 2025 state tournament, and Lisbon will bring back eight wrestlers from their state squad last year. They had 4 state place winners and 4 state qualifiers last year on their squad. and they graduated no one out of their lineup from last year. So the Broncos returned everybody on their squad this year. They had Maddie Krelling, state qualifier. Lila Gillespie, a state qualifier. Emerson Schwab plays fourth at state. Ava Carblum plays second at state at 155 pounds. Cora Oster, state qualifier. Nevaeh Buffett plays fifth last year at state. And then Ella Sad plays fourth at the state tournament. Maybe I think I forgot one here. But those are the returning state place winner state qualifiers for Lisbon. That was 7 of them. I think I said there was 8. So it looks like maybe there was three state qualifiers, 4 state place winners there for the Broncos coming back to their squad. And then for Central Cass played 6th last year at the state tournament. They scored 76 points at the state tournament. And they bring back 2 state place winners in state champion Anna White at 100 pounds last year, 2-time state champion at 100 pounds. And they also bring back Grace Lamar. Grace Lamar plays 5th last year at the state tournament. And they also bring back state qualifiers in Emma Dutt, Lakin Capone, Emerson Flady, Aubrey Coonsey, and Nevaeh Hipsack were all state qualifiers last year for Central Cass. And looking at our lineups, starting lineups for the varsity girls wrestling this evening. At 100 pounds, it's Lauren Opsted taking on Josie Carblum of the Lisbon Broncos. For Central Cass at 106 pounds, it's Anna White taking on Abby Sutherland. 112 pounds, Central Cass's Emma Dutt will take on Nora Gillespie. 118 pounds, it's Ivy Guy of Central Cass wrestling Addison Booman of Lisbon. 124 pounds for Central Cass, Cassidy Folstead will wrestle Cadence Golding of Lisbon. 130 pounds, Eleanor Wegg of Central Cass wrestling Arlie Romerman of the Broncos. 136 pounds, Lakin Capone will wrestle Adeline Hansen of the Lisbon Broncos. 142 pounds, Central Cass is open, and Lisbon has Lila Gillespie. 148 pounds, Evelyn Roth will wrestle Veda Carblum of the Broncos. 155 pounds, the Squirrels, Taylor Boder wrestling Violet Heen of Lisbon. 170 pound, Emerson Flady wrestling Ava Carblum of the Broncos. And 190, Central Cass is open, and Lisbon has Cora Oster. And 250 pounds, Central Cass is open, and Lisbon has Ella Sad. And the Central Cass Squirrels, coached by Travis Lamar, and head coach of the Lisbon Broncos is Jacob Revere. So those are the starting lineups and coaches for each team. We're going to quickly step away. We'll take a word from our sponsor. We'll come back for more varsity girls wrestling from Lisbon High School Gymnasium on YourLiveEvent.com.
Just a town, we're a community, one that you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, a golf course and pool, the Sportsman Club, and great educational opportunities. There hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota.
What's going on today?
I've got a plan to...
All right, welcome back. YourLiveEvent.com. We're here for the Lisbon Broncos versus the Central Cass Squirrels in North Dakota girls wrestling duel action. At 100 pounds, Josie Carblum of the Lisbon Broncos will wrestle Lauren Osmondstead of Central Cass. In Osmondstead for Central Cass, ranked number 8 at 100 pounds according to Dakota Grappler rankings. I know Josie and Lauren have met up a number of times in the past years out here wrestling for their high school teams this season. Both at 100 pounds. Here's Carblum and Osmondstead. Wrestlers holding center of the mat. Osmondstead initiates, goes collar tie on the far side. Looks like she was trying to pass the elbow. Now goes 2-on-1. Carblum working for a wrist tie. Wrestlers back to the center of the mat. Osmondstead with the shot. Carblum's going to go double unders. She has double unders on Osmondstead, has her stretched out. See if Josie can drag her down. Osmondstead able to get those hips underneath her. Stands back up, back in the wrestling stance. Wrestler still holding center of the mat. And there's Osmondstead. Hits a throw on Carblum, throws her to her back. Here with 42 seconds remaining, the win by fall for Lauren Osmondstead over Josie Carblum. Yeah, she hit the takedown near fall on the pin. So Osmondstead will put Center Cass up early in this duel by a score of 6-0.
106 pounders from Central Cass, Anna White from Lisbon, Abby Sunderland.
So 106 pounds moving along. Abby Sutherland, the Lisbon Broncos wrestling Anna White. So Abby, first year wrestling as a 7th grader out here, taking on the state champion in Anna White. And Anna White quickly doubles it up. Nice little double leg blast. Takes Sutherland to her back. Sutherland, a quick study. Having a pretty good year for first year wrestler. As we have the takedown, no near fall. And looks like maybe blood time after the takedown. So 3 points, 3-0 is the score, as wrestlers are going to go back over. White to their coach, Travis Lamar, and Sutherland over here to the table. We're going to step away. We'll take a quick break. This is yourliveevent.com.
Precision Ag come over and do an inspection.
You upgrading systems or are you working on maintenance?
Both, actually. We walked some fields last summer and found areas where we can improve. So we are installing Delta Force and some new opening discs.
Yeah, I bet we're in the same boat. I should give them a call.
Yep, they will come out and look over the planter with you and put a plan together. They are the guys I go to for answers.
Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer. Give us a call at 701-636-2119 or planterdoc.com.
What if we said a bank isn't a place to lock up money? It's a place to set it free. What if the point of banking wasn't to bank at all, but to put your ideas to work? What if your bank asked, what if, a little more? Well, what if we told you we do? We're American Bank and Trust, where what if meets why not? If you're ready to change what you get out of banking, start a relationship with us. What if you made the move today?
No. All right, welcome back here at liveevent.com. As you see Central Cass Squirrels with that win by fall. Lauren Osmondstead pins Josie Carblum. We're at 106 pounds. Anna White has the 3-0 lead here on Abby Sutherland of Lisbon. After the blood time. Back to wrestling action. White throws a tilt down, has the ball and chain hooked up. Oh, actually just a kind of a chicken wing. And now goes up, picks up her 3 near fall, so she was able to pick up a 3 count on the near fall. Going to Turk her over with that cross face. Sutherland doing a good job, squares the hips away, gets back up, trying to build her base. So White working back around side, just trying to Turk the leg, trying to pick that ankle up and step through, and I'm able to get it. Sutherland still defending, just trying to keep those hips turned and away. And now White with the crossface, Turked her over, got a couple counts. So it looks like maybe 2 near fall. So a couple more near fall. And now Anna White, and a big bridge by Sutherland. Sutherland almost was able to get on top and reverse it. Anna White's going to apply the pressure with this head and arm on Sutherland. 38 seconds remaining. Right now, Central Cass leads. You're going at 106 pounds. They lead the duel by a score of 6-0. And that's a win by fall. Another pin and 6 more points. Picking up the bonus points there is Anna White, along with her teammate Lauren Osmondstead at 100 pounds. So 12-0 is our dual score. As we're rolling into 112 pounds is Emma Dutt. So Emma Dutt, number 8 ranked wrestler at 112 pounds. Or actually, I believe that was at 118. Down to 112 pounds after the Christmas break. She's taking on Nora Gillespie. Gillespie, another first-year wrestler. Dutt's going to take feet to back and cradles up. Gillespie win by fall. Right now, 18-0 with 3 pins for Central Cass. 3 pins for Central Cass as they're up now 18-0. That was at 112 pounds. So it should be 118. So now we have Ivy Guy wrestling Addison Booman at 118 pounds. 18-0 the dual score. And Booman with the knee pick. She's able to take Guy down, goes up to a power half for Addison Booman. She has it in tight, grabs the wrist. She's got to watch out she doesn't touch her other hand on the far side. She's got that half Nelson, then the wrist. She's going to come over the top, try to flatten out. She's a little bit high over the top here as Guy's going to try to keep bridging through. And Booman's going to have to get back belly down. So he got 4 near fall or takedown. We're 7-0, now 7-2 with the reversal. So we had 4 near fall, 3 takedown. Ivy Guy has a reverse half locked up on Booman. Booman hasn't given up any near fall yet, but she has given up the 2 reversal as that arm is deep behind the head and neck of Addison Booman. Not sure how Booman's able to stay belly down. That's a lot of pressure on that shoulder, but somehow was able to grit it out. Now a crossface by Guy. Booman's able to get back, builds her base. She's going to have to recover here. A little more recovery time here for Addison Booman. Yeah, she had a pinning combination hooked up that was reversed by Ivy Guy, a central cast. And Booman with little knee slide now working near center edge of the mat. You got 118-pound central cast up in the duel with 3 pins with that Olson Accounting recap as they picked up pins at 100 pounds from Lauren Osmonstead. First period pin by Anna White at 106 pounds and another first period pin by Emma Dutt at 112 pounds for those 18 points. Now we got a battle going between Booman of the Lisbon Broncos and Guy of Central Cast as Booman quad pods up, able to stand up, see if Ivy Guy can hit the mat return. She's going to get called for stalling, and nice reshot off the escape, and Booman goes right into a single leg shot, and we have potentially dangerous. So we have the 1 escape. We're 8-2 with 9 seconds remaining. So our score is 8-2 with 9 seconds. 8-2 with 9 seconds remaining. Off the whistle. Booman's going to go collar tie over the top. A lot of pressure on the neck. Looking for the knee pick at the end of the period. And just as she's turning the corner, time expires. And we are 8-2 at 118 pounds between Addison Booman of Lisbon and Ivy Guy of Central Cass. Guy had the opportunity on when she was able to reverse that half on Booman. Booman was able to recover and escape. Off the whistle. Addison Booman in the top position for Lisbon, wearing the black singlet with the red trim. In that top position, has an armbar locked up, has the far wrist caught. She's going to walk this around for some near fall. This is tight in the pin here for Addison Booman. So Addison Booman for Lisbon gets a pin in that Olson Accounting recap, as it was 8-2 at the end of the first period in this match. Going in the second period, Booman took top position and was able to secure the fall.
From Central Cass, Cassidy Volstead. From Lisbon, Cadence Golding.
Oh, 124 pounds. So we got 124 pounds for Central Cass. It's Cassidy Volstead, and for Lisbon, it's Cadence Golding. Golding with the quick takedown is up 3-0. She's going to let Volstead up and work another takedown. Cadence Golding ranked number 1 at 124 pounds. Volstead with the sprawl. Golding's going to try to walk it up. Good sprawl by Volstead with the defense. Dual score 18-6, 124 pounds. Now Golding with the nice double leg was able to run it over. Goes crossface into the screwdriver. She yanks over her opponent. Cassidy Volstead working for a fall in the first period. Minute 15 still on the clock. Cadence Golding, your winner by fall. 12-18 is our dual score. 2 takedowns for Cadence. escape for Cassidy Folstead. So Bank North scoreboard now 18-12, going into 130 pounds. So 130 pounds, Arlie Romerman of the Broncos. And Eleanor Wag for Central Cass. At least that's what's in the lineup. We'll see who checks in. So it's Eleanor Wag and Arlie Romerman. Romerman for the Broncos, black singlet, red trim. 18-12, 130-pound match. Romerman for the Broncos. Kind of in the bottom position now in the situation, as Waugh was able to get her down. Kind of a cow catcher situation. She's able to hit an underhook. She'll secure the takedown on Romerman. No near fall, but does have the 3 takedown. Is Eleanor Wag of Central Cass. So she's up 3-0 now with the half Nelson. She has this thing buried in deep. Trying to hit another first period pin. We have nothing but first period pins. Or excuse me, 4 first period pins and a second period pin. As Eleanor Waugh for Central Cass. Looking for the fall on Arlie Romerman here at 130 pounds. She has that right shoulder. Romerman has her right shoulder up just a little bit. Waugh's putting more pressure on it. Walks around the pin there for Eleanor Waugh, Central Cass. She dispatches Arlie Romerman of the Broncos at 130 pounds in 1 minute and 20 seconds. 12-24 up on that Olson Accounting match recap. Central Cass picked up pins at 100, 106, and 112. Lisbon with a pin by Addison Booman at 118 and 124. And now Central Cass strikes back with a pin at 130 pounds with Eleanor Waugh over Arlie Romerman in 1:20. That's your Olson Accounting match recap this far. If you need help with your monthly accounting and payroll, let senior staff give you a hand. Rely on the friendly team of professionals at Olson Accounting for your tax and accounting needs. Go to colsoncpa.com. Use your Olson Accounting match recap. As we're at 136 pounds, Lisbon's Adeline Hansen, normally down at 130 pounds. She's up here wrestling 136. She's ranked number 7. Dakota Glapper rankings number 7 at 130 pounds. As we are at 136. Our duel score 24-12 in favor of Central Cass. 136 pounds in this girls' duel. Hansen, wrestling Lake and Capone of Central Cass. Capone last year state qualifier at 130 pounds. Hansen throws Capone to her back, stretches the arm out, looking for a pin here for the Broncos. As trying to keep the first period pin in play here as Hansen has a reverse half locked up on Capone. Is going to try to stretch that far arm out. Capone doing a good job, keeps that right shoulder up. The official down there with the good luck as we have 35 seconds remaining in this first period. Hansen with the reverse half, stretching out the arm. She has the takedown. And near fall coming her way. She's still trying to stretch that out and wear down her opponent. Capone doing a good job there. State qualifier year goal for Central Cass. And Hansen last year had to sit out because of an injury, so she sat out the entire season. And the left shoulder and the pin for Adeline Hansen as she was able to get that shoulder down on the mat. Under 7 seconds remaining. So a minute 53 pin for Adeline Hansen. As we're now at 142 pounds.
No call too small. Bears Home Solutions handles it all. You need a bear in there, oh yeah. Keeping homes just right with X.
All right, welcome back here. So we're tied up at 24 as Lisbon did receive a win by forfeit at 142 pounds there with Veda Carbon, or Veda Carbon went out. So we're here at 148 pounds. Well, that was Lila Gillespie that went out at 142 with the win by forfeit. So that ties up the duel. Now we're tied up at 24 apiece in the duel at 148. Okay, now both wrestlers working on collar ties, working through head and hand defense. Carbon's going to go in. She's going to hit over under with the body lock on her opponent, Evelyn Roth, and then they're out just as Carbon was able to lock up on the inside, just ran out of mat space. And now Roth working 2-on-1, working wrist ties on Carbon. Not able to get back behind here. There was Veda Carbon from Lisbon. Works an underhook on the far side, just trying to defend. As Roth really trying to work that 2-on-1. 142 pounds in that Olson Accounting match recap. We had a forfeit to Lila Gillespie, so Broncos were able to tie up this duel. And then at 136 pounds, it was Adeline Hansen, your winner by fall, in a minute 53 with a win by fall over Lakin Capone of Central Cass. Hansen, ranked number 7 at 130 pounds. Lakin Capone from Central Cass, a returning state qualifier. Hansen with the win in first period pin at 136 pounds. Those are the results of your last couple matches. As we're going to go into the next period, the second period, we're scoreless between Veda Carbon and Evelyn Roth. Carbon last year, a state qualifier. Or excuse me, not a state qualifier. State qualifier the year before for Lisbon, so not able to make it to the state tournament 25 for Lisbon. There is Veda Carbon. Looking to make it back there this year. In the start of the second period. Now it's Roth in the top position, able to stretch out Carbon as a half Nelson. Looks like she's trying to bury in a half Nelson on Carbon. Carbon's trying to hit a roll. She's able to kind of trap the elbow, hips over the top. In the 2-point reversal for Carbon. So first points on the board with that reversal. Carbon will take the 2-0 lead. No other points awarded. Or 2-0. So they go back to the center of the mat. On the restart, little knee slide out by Roth. Carbon working over the top. Roth able to isolate that wrist. She's going to stand up, try to get some separation. Carbon able to get her back down to the mat. Now goes crossface. Actually working underneath the arm on that far side. Is going to jump across. Roth still keeping that wrist tied up. Carbon's going to work in an arm bar. Roth still tying up the wrist on Carbon, giving her some problems. Now a spiral near side, working underneath. Carbon's going to walk this around. She's got it winged up. Elevates that elbow and gets over. Roth working for a fall, second period. And the pin there for Veda Carbon in the second period. It's in 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Win by fall for Carblum. Lisbon will take the lead now, 30-24 with the pin. So it's been 5 pins.
55 pounds for Central Cass, Salem Boulder. For Lisbon, Violet Haynes.
There are 4 pins for Lisbon and a forfeit for their 30 points. As we're at 155 pounds, here's Violet Heen for Lisbon. Their score 30-24, 155 pounds. Violet Heen for Lisbon. Taylor Boder for Central Cass. And Heen with the collar tie. Wrestlers back to the center of the mat. She'll shrug it off there. Is Taylor Boulder. Boulder's going to go ahead and arm, tries to lock up. Heen thought about going inside after that. Boulder steps away. Back to a collar tie for Violet Heen of Lisbon, wearing the black singlet with the red trim. And the yellow Bronco on the back as we're down to a minute remaining first period. Boulder's going to go back headlock. And Heen able to counter it. She's going to take Boulder to her back. She has the takedown and the pin there for Violet Heen. 1 minute and 9 second pin for Violet Heen of the Broncos. Actually 1 minute and 8 seconds for Violet Heen over Taylor Boulder, 36-24. So up on that Bank North scoreboard, Lisbon leads by a score of 36-24, going into 170 pounds. Bank North's trusted financial partner for generations, helping customers and communities build, grow, and prosper. See what values-based banking can do for you. Visit banknorth.bank today. Bank North, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. That is your Bank North scoreboard update. The Broncos up 36-24 in the duel. We're now at 170 pounds. So 170 pounds, Emerson Filady wrestling Ava Carblum of the Lisbon Broncos. Carblum ranked number 5 at 170 pounds, latest Dakota Grappler rankings. And Filady last year for Central Cass, a state qualifier. Carblum from Lisbon was a state runner-up at 155 pounds. Filady wrestled 148 last year, state qualifier at 148 pounds. Out here wrestling Carblum. Yeah, as wrestlers locked up head-to-head, center of the mat. Filady trying to work wrist tie on Carblum. Down under a minute remaining in the first period. Still 170 pounds. There would be 2 more weight classes. Central Cass looks like they're open at 190. And then 235 or heavyweight. So Lisbon will pick up, we expect Lisbon to pick up a couple forfeits at 190 and then at heavyweight. So here's Filady and Carblum. They're locked up, big headlock here for Filady. She's going to try to go for it. Carblum's trying to counter it. Filady and Carblum scrambling. Carblum comes out on top of Filady in the scramble. And here's Carblum working near fall on Filady. She's going to have a 3-0 lead plus near fall. 4 near fall, we're 7-0 in favor of Ava Carblum for the Broncos. Now under 5 seconds. Clock winds down and we go to the second period. Carblum leads by a score of 7-0. Going into the next period, the Broncos up in the duel by a score of 30-24. As they picked up a pin at 155 pounds from Violet Heen in the first period in 1 minute and 8 seconds. And then Veda Carblum won by fall over Evelyn Roth at 148 pounds by fall in 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Lisbon should be up in this duel 36-24 now that I get the score right. So 36-24 off the scramble, off the start of the second period. Carblum hooks up a cradle, not able to get her hand secured, but she's going to get the takedown. She's up 11-0. with the escape and takedown for Carblum. Working near fall. Here's Carblum. She has this half Nelson tight in the pin for Ava Carblum. Second period win by fall. And that's in 2 minutes and 38 seconds. So 2 minutes, 38 second win by fall for Carblum. So add that score for Lisbon. 42-24, Cora Ulster going out at 190. And 48-24, and then final. Is 54-24. I think they're going to have a couple prelim matches out there now. So I think the girls will go with their prelim matches. Lisbon in this duel will win by a score of 54-24. As we'll go through this Olson Accounting duel recap. The girls varsity high school varsity duel between the Lisbon Broncos and Central Cass. Yeah, Central Cass came out at 100 pounds. Lauren Amistad with the win by fall in the first period over Josie Carblum. Central Cass was ahead in the duel 6-0, 106 pounds. Anna White dispatched Abby Sutherland in the first period with the first period fall. Duel score 12-0 in favor of Central Cass. Central Cass picks up another pin at 112 pounds. It was Emma Dudd over Nora Gillespie. 18-0 duel score in favor of the Squirrels. 118 pounds, Addison Booman stops the momentum by Central Cass with a win by fall. In the second period, it was 8-2 after the first, and then Booman in the second period, she picks up a fall over Ivy Guy. Dual score 18-6, 124 pounds. Cadence Golding comes out the number one ranked wrestler at 124. She wins by fall over Cassidy Folstead by a score of 18-12. Or excuse me, she wins by fall in the first period. Our dual score is 18-12. Then it was Eleanor Waugh at 130 pounds, wins by fall over Arlie Romerman. Our dual score 24-12, 136 pounds. It's Adeline Hansen for the Lisbon Broncos. Hansen ranked number 7 at 130 pounds. She comes out and wins by fall over Lakin Capone of Central Cass in a minute 53. That dual score is 24-18 in favor of Central Cass. Then Lila Gillespie picks up a forfeit for Lisbon. Dual score tied up at 24 apiece, heading into 148 pounds. And Veda Carblum wins with a second period pin in 3 minutes and 20 seconds over Everland Roth. The Broncos took the lead in the duel at that point after 148. It was 30-24. Violet Heen with another win by fall, this time in the first period in a minute and 8 seconds. Broncos led 36-24. And then Ava Carblum with a win by fall at 170 pounds in the second period. It looks like a 2 minute, 38 second win by fall for Ava Carblum. So the Broncos pull ahead by a score of 42-24. And then Lisbon picks up forfeits to Cora Ulster at 190 pounds. And then at heavyweight to Ella Sad. Your final dual score is 54-24. That's their final for the Lisbon Broncos. The Broncos win by a score of 54-24 in high school girls wrestling in the state of North Dakota here on a Tuesday evening inside the Lisbon High School Gymnasium. So as we turn to our Agassiz Egg Precision Mover of the match here for Agassiz Egg. Agassiz Precision Egg, your local precision planting dealer. Agassiz Precision Egg in Hillsboro. Call 701-436-2119 or visit planterdoc.com. So your Agassiz Egg Precision Mover of the match. That is going to go out to Addison Booman at 118-pound. Booman for the Lisbon Broncos. Had a nice half Nelson locked up. Was able to sink it in deep there in the first period. Pick up a near fall off of it. Almost won by fall in the first period. Guy was able to survive that and then get into the second period for an eventual win by fall for Addison Booman. And the Broncos finally on the scoreboard that after 118 pounds. So Booman picks up your Agassi Egg Precision move of the duel at 118 pounds for the Lisbon Broncos. And then your Enbridge Energy Wrestler of the Duel. Enbridge Energy Wrestler of the Duel, that's going to go out to Adeline Hansen of Lisbon. Hansen coming out at 136 pounds. She's wrestling up this evening for the Lisbon Broncos. She wrestled returning state qualifier Lakeland Capone of Central Cass, and Adeline Hansen with the win by fall in 1:53. And that helped close the gap for the Lisbon Broncos. Your dual score at that point was 24-18. So Adeline Hansen is your Enbridge Energy Wrestler of the Duel. Life takes energy from Enbridge, energy for life, enbridge.com for those career opportunities. As the Broncos, your final in North Dakota High School girls wrestling, they win by a score of 54-24 over the Central Cass Squirrels. So we'll keep the action here with the prelim match. Just trying to see who this is. I believe it's Abby Sutherland wrestling Chloe Haas or Hayes. Oh, Central Cass looks like Hayes in the top position. Has the 7-0 lead. It's still in the first period in this prelim. You're going to go half. Nelson kind of has a power half, had the hand. And maybe that's Gillespie. Just trying to see. I might have missed one in our little recap there. As we're 7-0 first period. 15 seconds remaining. Central Cass up in this prelim. Yeah, nice bridge. Still trying to fight through to the second period. In that bottom position. The official at the end of the first period with the win by fall. So I believe that Ava Crandall. So that was Ava Crandall wrestling Nora Gillespie. So Crandall, your winner by fall over Gillespie in that prelim match. I think that was the final match here for girls high school wrestling as the Broncos win the duel by a score of 54-24. And we will take a break. We'll come back for the high school varsity boys duel. So that's just at on yourliveevent.com. We're going to take a break and we'll come back for more action on yourliveevent.com.
Stars guide you when repairs scare. You need a bear in there.
Check out bearshomesolutions.com.
At Cass County Mutual Insurance Company, they provide services to homeowners, farm owners, tenants, seasonal dwellings, mobile homes, and farm and personal liability. Cass County Mutual Insurance provides local service to all policyholders and is working with clients in 19 counties in the southeast portion of North Dakota. For more information about Cass County Mutual Insurance Company or to find an agent closest to you, go online to CassCountyMutualInsuranceCompany.com and use their agent locator. At Castleton Lumber, they want to be part of every stage of your building project from the ground up. Let them assist with planning your project timeline in a way that's affordable and efficient. Castleton Lumber has everything you need to get the look you love with windows, siding, roofing, and doors. From choosing the right materials to the finishing touches, you can count on the folks at Castleton Lumber. Stop in and talk with the crew today or call 347-4471. That's 347-4471. Since its beginning, the Central Cass Booster Club has generated and helped sustain fan interest in the men's and women's athletic programs at Central Cass High School. Through the years, that mission has broadened to also enhance the youth programs throughout the community. For more information, search Central Cass Booster Club on Facebook or email centralcassboosterclub@gmail.com. That's centralcassboosterclub@gmail.com. Go Squirrels!
Halstead Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here at Lisbon High School Gymnasium for our pregame show here for the North Dakota High School boys wrestling this evening between the Lisbon Broncos and the Central Cass Squirrels. The Lisbon Broncos here on the boys wrestling side, as they come in off of a championship at the Central Cass Letterman's Tournament. So Lisbon, the Central Cass Letterman's Tournament champions, they come into this tonight's duel with one loss on the season. They're currently 3-1 in duels, as they were defeated last week by the South Porter Mustangs in a close duel that was over in the Armory last week. And that final duel score was 35-34. The Mustangs came out victorious. The Broncos' duel record currently sits at 3-1. They're 1-1 in region duels. They're here for a non-region duel this evening with Central Cass and taking on the Squirrels. So they're going to have a couple prelims. I think they said they're going to do the prelims right away, and then they're going to get into the duel. So they're going to start the prelims and then get into this evening's duel between Central Cass and Lisbon. Just 3 prelims this evening. Then looking at the Broncos. The Broncos opened up their season at the Dan Unruh Wrestling Tournament. And they placed second at the Dan Unruh Wrestling Tournament. They defeated Oaks in a duel the night before Lisbon did. In another exciting duel, I believe it was Lisbon won that duel by 5 points, came down to heavyweight. So Lisbon with the win over Oaks in the duel the night before, then went to the Wapton Wrestling Dan Unruh Tournament where Lisbon placed second. And then they've here we know I got the right sheet. So let's get back into this. So Lisbon wrestled Oaks on the 4th of December where they defeated Oaks by a score of 34-28 here in boys wrestling. Then wrestled the Dan Unruh where they placed second. They came back for that triangular against Valley City on the 11th of December. They defeated Valley City by a score of 51-19 and Wahpeton by a score of 52-18. Wrestled in the L. Larson Carrington tournament where they placed second. Their duel with Carrington on the 18th of December was canceled. They wrestled that Valley City Holiday Tournament. Lisbon placed 5th and then came back for that duel on the 8th of January. So they had the holiday season or Christmas season off. Came back on the 8th of January for that showdown with the South Border Mustangs. They lost that by a score of 35-34 to South Border, and then came back the following Friday and Saturday at the Central Cass Letterman's Tournament where they earned the individual team championship. Broncos currently sit at 3-1 overall in duels. They're 1-1 in the southeast sub-region. And then Central Cass, looking at their season so far, it looks like they opened up their season on the 2nd of December. Wrestled Devils Lake in a duel, and that was a 46-16 win for Devils Lake over Central Cass. Central Cass wrestled the Knights of Columbus tournament. Then they came back on the 11th of December where they defeated Fargo South by a score of 66-11. Then wrestled in that Grand Forks Sertoma dual team tournament where they finished the tournament with a record of 2-3. Wrestled on the 20th of December at the Dennis Flynn Shootout, and the 3rd of January at the Webster Area Invite, and then in a duel with West Fargo High School. They defeated the Packers by a score of 39-28 on the 6th of January, and then wrestled in the Central Cass Letterman's Tournament. Looks like Central Cass, their duel record, just unofficially, as I was trying to round up the stats and the duel records, is 4-4 overall, and looks like they're 2-0 in the EDC as far as duels. And the Broncos next active, they have a quadrangular on the 15th of January, and that's versus Kindred Napoleon and Northern Cass. So that's on the 15th of January, and that is over in Gwinnett. So that's will be the first wrestling inside the North Sargent High School Gymnasium, or the North Sargent Winter Activity Center. First wrestling duel over there since 1994. And that's on the 15th of January. And then Central Cass active also on the 15th of January, where they have, it looks like a triangular with West Fargo Horace and Breck Wap. And then they will participate and wrestle. Central Cass will in that rugby booster tournament on the 16th to 17th of January. So that's what's ahead for both teams with the duel this evening, and then later on in the week for both teams. And then looking at your latest Dakota Grappler Class B rankings, as far as the individual team tournament rankings, number 1 is South Border, 2 Velva, 3 Lisbon, 4 Oaks, 5 is Elmdale Edgerly Calm. And then your Class B dual team rankings, number 1 South Border, 2 Velva, 3 Lisbon, 4 Bowman County, and 5 Williams County. And there in your Dakota Grappler Class A individual team rankings, you have Bismarck Legacy, number 1, 2 Bismarck High, 3 Fargo Davies, 4 Bismarck Century, and 5 is Dickinson. And then your dual team rankings in the state of North Dakota, Class A or Division A, number 1 Bismarck Legacy, 2 Fargo Davies, 3 Bismarck High, 4 Dickinson, and number 5 is Grand Forks Central. And just looking at some of these possible individual matchups that we could have between some of these ranked wrestlers in the state, according to Dakota Grappler ranked wrestlers. At 107 pounds, we have number 1 in the state, Jarek Jorson for Central Cass. Number 4 at 114 pounds is number 4 rated John Call. At 127 pounds, number 1 rated Noah Anderson. And at 145 pounds, we have number 4 Class B Griffin Greenlee for Lisbon. 152 pounds, number 5 ranked Ryan Eng. 160 pounds, number 2 rated Cruz Ranke. 172 pounds, number 2 rated Eli Lyons. Also at 160 pounds for Central Cass, we have number 7 in Class A, Hunter Parisian. And then at 189 pounds for Lisbon, honorable mention ranking with Riley Lucina. And then at 215 and 285 pounds, a couple ranked wrestlers for Lisbon. At 215 pounds, Madden Schwab ranked number 6. And Brock Lyons ranked number 6 at 285. And then Jennings Cooney of Central Cass, honorable mention ranking for Central Cass at heavyweight. So just some of the ranked wrestlers and possible match of ranked wrestlers at 160 pounds between Cruz Ranke and Parisian. And then at 285 with Brock Lyons and Jennings Cooney for some possible head-to-head ranked wrestling or ranked wrestler matchups this evening. As they're going into their prelims out there. Like I said, we'll have 3 prelims for the boys. So the boys with 3 prelim matches. This first one up is Connor Weber, looks like Jackson Wilcox and Torrance Ursink for Lisbon. So Jackson Wilcox and Torrance Ursink out there wrestling each other. So that is your prelim match. Prelim match is Jackson Wilcox Central Cass wrestling Torrance Ursink. All right. So we are scoreless in that first period. Looks like Wilcox in on a double leg shot. Now Ursink. Wilcox hits the nice sprawl with the crossface, and looks like the 3 points awarded. He's going to cradle up Ursink. Has him cradled up, going to roll him over. And no near fall after that cradle attempt there by Wilcox. Ursink controlling the wrist. Little chop of the elbow by Wilcox. Now working underneath on the far side. Down to 15 seconds. Ursink's going to grab that leg served up by Wilcox. Now he lets go of it. Wilcox working back around with the crossface, steps to the head. Not able to secure the cradle, down to 5 seconds remaining. And the end of the period. 3-0 lead for Jackson Wilcox. So now with a minute 45 in the second period. So a minute 45 in the second period. Wilcox is in the top position. Wilcox will jump across far side, down to 40 seconds remaining. Second period has the armbar locked up on Ursink. Wilcox has the 5-0 lead. 2 points for the near fall. Score 7-0. Now goes to a half Nelson on Ursink. They try to roll him over. That's the win by fall for Wilcox. The Central Cass in this prelim match. Jackson Wilcox winner by fall over Torrance Ursink.
Now wrestling from Central Cass, Connor Weber. For Lisbon, John David Oster. On deck.
Well, second prelim, Connor Weber, John David Oster out here wrestling. So prelim match number 2 of 3. We're down to minute 45, first period. Ulster in on a double leg shot. Connor Weber, nice sprawl. Ulster disengages, back up to their feet. Now working collar ties here with a minute 20 remaining, first period. Little snap down. Still working collar ties, back to the center of the mat. Here Ulster for Lisbon wears the white singlet with the red trim. Looks like he's working into a headlock. So body lock. And now a headlock roll through. Here by Connor Weber. Both wrestlers back to their feet after the headlock countered with the roll through by Weber. Back to their feet. And we're scoreless with 25 seconds remaining in the first period. And nice little duck under, hits, trying to hit the goal behind, and now the three-point takedown, 3-0 lead for Connor Weber. And the end of the period. So John David going bottom position. Weber's choice, he chose top. Now 2 minutes on the clock for the second period. Long prelim matches. Putting 2 minutes, second period. Going to chop the wrist on the far side. And John David Ulster stands up. Stall warning. Campbell had to return him to the mat. Now the 1 point escape. 3-1 is your score. Now a snap down there by Campbell over the top on Ulster of Lisbon. So Weber in the top position. The 3-point takedown up 6-1. Connor Weber warned for stalling, but he has the 6-1 lead in the top position. Work as half Nelson on Ulster. Ulster's got to pick the head up, look away, and peel. See if he can build his base. Well, he's trying to counter that half Nelson down under 30 seconds remaining. Ulster trying to pick up the head. Weber sticks the half Nelson back in. He's got this one deep and stretches out the arm. Going to go across the face. Ulster able to counter out of it, down to 15 seconds. Chest on chest for Weber, trying to work the fall on Ulster. With 5 seconds remaining, Ulster left shoulder up, rolls back through on the belly for near fall for Weber, up 10-1 at the end of the second period. So we'll have a little bit of medical time over there for John David Ulster, then we will step away as we're in the third period. Up on the scoreboard, it's 10-1 in favor of Campbell.
Central Cass School District, excellence isn't just a goal. It's our mission by empowering individuals to make a positive impact. Central Cass School District is dedicated to providing students with an innovative curriculum supported by a variety of co-curricular activities from athletics and the arts to leadership and service, aiming to provide excellence between students, staff, family, and community. Central Cass School District, fostering student excellence by inspiring individuals.
All right, welcome back as we're back from our medical time with a minute 55 remaining. Started the third period. Off the whistle, Weber was able to stand up. He has the 10-1 lead with the reversal. We're 12-1. Weber has the lead, 12-1 over Ulster. Ulster in the bottom position for Lisbon. Half Nelson put on by Weber. Switches it up. Was far side with the half, now goes near side. Ulster on his hip. Weber sees an opportunity and an opening, throws the half Nelson and rolls him over. He will have 4 near fall if John David Ulster able to get up, and that's win by fall for Mr. Weber. So Connor Weber, your winner by fall over John David Ulster here in our second prelim.
Our final prelim for Central Cass, Hayden Markson, Hayden Morgan, and Torrance Ursing.
Our third prelim. Torrance Ursink out there again against Hayden Morgan. And the wrestlers go out with the minute 51 on the clock. So Morgan goes cow catcher on Ursink. Underhook, scoops the chin, rolls him over. And the win by fall. In 21 seconds, there is Hayden Morgan over Torrance Ursink. So that is the end of the prelim matches. And we'll see what transpires after the prelim. So I think the varsity wrestlers will warm up and line up and then go through the starting lineups. Then get into the boys varsity duel. So we're going to step away, take a word from our sponsors, and come back for more wrestling from the Lisbon High School Gymnasium. You're watching YourLiveEvent.com.
Growers, prepare your fields and yields against the wet conditions today and beyond with the Drain Tile project from Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. Drain tiling will improve and increase your yields and land values for years to come. Chad's Excavating provides free detailed estimates, and with over 40 years of combined success, they provide professional installation and service. Call Chad today to prepare for your future and any questions that you might have. That's Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
In Hope, North Dakota, we aren't just a town, we're a community, one that you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, a golf course and pool, the Sportsman Club, and great educational opportunities. There hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota.
All right, back here for more wrestling. This time, high school boys varsity wrestling duel between the Broncos and Central Cass Squirrels as they're going through their starting lineups. For Lisbon, Lisbon brings back 4 returning state place winners, 4 returning state qualifiers. Their returning state place winners, Cruz Ranke placed 4th last year at the state tournament, along with Noah Anderson placing 3rd. Griffin Greenlee placed 3rd at 145 pounds. And then Eli Lyons for Lisbon placed 3rd at 160 pounds. The returning state qualifiers is Grayson Lyons, Matt Schwab, Gavin Robertson, Brock Lyons, and then Ryan Ing. Ryan Ing didn't make the state tournament last year out with an injury. Previous years before that, he placed 6th, and then a state runner-up also is Ryan Ing for the Lisbon Broncos. Central Cass looks like they bring back 6 state qualifiers and a couple returning state place winners. Last year, they graduated a couple seniors in Caden Graber and Grady Link. And their returning state place winners, they have Derek Jorson placed 6th last year at 107. John Call placed 7th last year. So 2 returning state place winners. And then they have returning state qualifiers and Logan Anthony, Ben Quickschreiber, Hunter Parisian, so 3 returning state place winners. Parisian placed 6th last year at 145. Also state qualifier Aiden Tummel, Adrian Aarons, Briley Mayer, and McCoy Ferguson. So not sure if all those wrestlers are back on the squad, the starting squad, but those are what they had returning or possibly returning last year under their squad with their returning state place winner state qualifiers for Central Cass. As we look at our starting lineups at 107 pounds is Derek Jorson. For Central Cass, Jorson ranked number 1 at 107 pounds for Central Cass in class and take on Lisbon's Theo Hans. Jack Glennon at 114 pounds will take on Lisbon's Micah Fromke. At 121 pounds, John Call, ranked number 4 at 114 pounds. He's going to take on Lisbon's Jack Lucina. 127 pounds, Gallagher Wheeler will take on Lisbon's Brody Seelig at 127. 133 pounds, Simon Schneider wrestling Grayson Lyons of the Lisbon Broncos. 139 pounds, Logan Anthony of Central Cass will take on Ian Anderson of Lisbon. 145-pound Ben Quickschreiber wrestles Griffin Greenlee of the Lisbon Broncos. 152 the matchup, Hunter Parisian wrestling Ryan Ing of Lisbon. 160 pounds, Iverson Cooney wrestling Cruz Ranke of the Broncos. 172 pounds, Aiden Peterson of Central Cass wrestling Eli Lyons. 189 pounds, Sam Schneider taking on Camden Rondesvet. 215 pounds, McCoy Ferguson wrestling Zach Ward. And then 285, the Squirrels are open. Lisbon with Brock Lyons, so it looks like Cooney not wrestling this evening here at heavyweight. Jennings Cooney for Central Cass. Well, the first match this evening at 107 pounds, Jorson wrestling 7th grader Theo Hans of the Broncos. Jorson
107 pounds, Jack Glennon for Lisbon, Theo
Okay, so they got Jack Glennon. So Glennon's going to go down and wrestle Hans. So a little switcheroo in the right lineup there for Derek Jorson's going to bump up and wrestle Micah Fromke. So Glennon down here right away off the whistle. With the takedown, works an armbar on Hans. Now throws in a half Nelson. So has a barred up bar half. He's going to roll over Theo Hans. Minute 30 remaining in the period. Now has a doubled up, switches to the doubles on the backside. Hans able to get back belly down, but Glennon keeps the arms behind the back on Hans. Hans still trying to roll through right now, 3-0 with the minute 13 remaining here at 107 pounds in the duel. So we're scoreless up on our Bank North scoreboard this evening. As we're just starting the duel, had 3 prelim matches. Central Cass winning all 3 of those prelim matches. Down to 50 seconds remaining. They're Hans bridging out, trying to roll through, gets back almost belly down. Glennon keeping the pressure on, kind of a quarter Nelson's going to roll over Hans again. So he will have the 4 near fall. Glennon does have the 4 near fall locked up, so he bumps up. He had on the lineup at 114. Looks like he and Jorison are going to switch spots in the lineup for Central Cass. Down to 23 seconds. There, Hans still trying to bridge out. Hans able to get back, belly down as Glennon goes leg right on the far side, working the edge of the mat. He's going to go crossface and try to drag over Hans, but Hans gets through to the next period. So we have the 4 near fall. We're 7-0 in favor of Glennon. So Hans in the top position, and caution going on Glennon on the start. So it's off the whistle. Glennon with the stand up. We're 8-0. It was a nice little single, switches it up to a double for Jack Glennon. So the escape and the 3-point takedown were 11-0. Glennon led 7-0 at the end of the first period. Had a takedown and 4 near fall. Goes to work right away on top. Leg ride near side. Actually has double boots and now goes leg ride into a head and arm. As Hans on the edge of the mat. Glennon's going to step over. Hans trying to get back belly down. So we should have 4 more near fall. 3 near fall coming for Glennon of Central Cass. Has the 3 near fall. He's up 14-0 with Hans. Edge of the mat. They're called out. The toes go out. Back to the center for the restart. Referee's position restart with a minute 1 remaining second period. Match score 7-0 after the first period. Now it's under a minute. Second period. Glennon goes chicken wing, going to try to drag him over. Not able to drag him over the knee. Now working on an armbar to walk him around the head. Looks like he's up underneath. Working in a half Nelson, trying to go bar half. Has it barred up on the far side. Working half Nelson in on the near side. Goes chin drop. And it has the underhook with the bar on the near side. Scoops it up on, doubles it up now. Double arm bars, walks around the head on Hans. Hans going to try to bridge out of it. It's pretty tight by Glennon. Final 15 seconds. Hans right shoulder up just a little bit. Official down there, the pin with the pressure applied by Glennon. So give him 148 on the pin. For Glennon and the 6-point.
14 pounders. Derek Jorison,
So 114 pounds. Jorson and Fromke. Fromke making the cut down to 21 after the holiday break. Jorson wrestling up for Central Cass, number 1 ranked at 107 in Class A. And Jorson down on a leg on Fromke. Fromke's kind of over the top. Jorson working in on a high crotch. Fromke's going to throw him over. Jorson still working underneath. Now Jorson able to grab the ankles. Trying to establish control with Fromke. Fromke, see if he can kind of mule kick out of that. Good takedown. Got a little bit of treetop little takedown there. Nice sweep. And the 3-point takedown for Jorson. And Jorson going to work far side. Chop the arm. Now goes spirals, wrist, crossface over the top, staying active in the top position with a minute remaining in the first period. 114 pounds. The final in the girls' duel, the final score was 54-24. Lisbon over Central Cass in that duel by score 54-24. All pins and forfeits in that duel. First and second period pins, and then Lisbon picked up 3 forfeits. And now Fromke issued a warning for stalling by the official. He's down by a score of 3-0. Nice hard crossface over the top, kind of catches Fromke. Fromke rolls back around with the restart. Fromke's down 3-0. He's in the white singlet, red trim in the bottom position. Now under 17 seconds remaining in the first period. Fromke, a little bit of a stand-up chop the arm by Jorson. Now goes crossface over the top. Jorson comes pretty hard with that crossface on Fromke. It takes Fromke off balance every time he throws it. Now working up underneath on Fromke as time expires. Our score of 3-0 at the end of the first period, as we are broadcasting to you from our Stock Growers Bank broadcast booth here up on the south side of the gymnasium for your Stock Growers Bank broadcast booth. It's your small town bank, big time partner with Stock Growers mobile app. Experience banking at fingertips anytime, anywhere. Bank near so you can go far with Stock Growers Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. In the start of the second period, Fromke in the top position, down 3-0. Jorson tried to stand up. Fromke came hard over the top, working underneath as Jorson able to catch that leg. Fromke not able to dig it in. And Jorson's going to just see if he can elevate that and sit out. Fromke able to get those hips back underneath him, working a half Nelson on Jorson. Jorson countering. Fromke comes hard over the top with a crossface. Nothing nice about that crossface. Jorson trying to get back to his base, able to do it. Fromke a little bit high. Jorson, got to watch it. Fromke has a crossface over the top, going to try to go head to knee with it. Hey, Fromke's got to spike that back ankle at Jorson. He's just leaving that free on the backside. Jorson's able to hip heist back around now. Has Fromke in a little bit of trouble. Fromke's not able to pass. Jorson in the position for the reversal. Has Fromke kind of scrunched up down to 45 seconds remaining. So the 2 reversal are 5-0 with the reversal. And Jorson's going to try to go inside cradle. He has the opposite leg cradle, inside cradle on Fromke. Fromke shouldered up a little bit. Jorson's going to readjust. This thing's pretty tight. Fromke's got 25 seconds to try to get out of this. Jorson's got 20 seconds now to get the pin for Central Cass and try to put them up in the win by fall. For Derek Jorson in the second period. Call that 3 minutes and 42 seconds. Derek Jorson, winner by fall. 121 pounds. So Jack Lucina going out there for Lisbon. Jack finding himself in the varsity lineup at 121 pounds, wrestling John Call for Central Cass. Call right away off the whistle, picks up the takedown. Has the early 3-0 lead. John Call last year placed 7th at the state tournament at 114. Currently ranked number 4 at 114 pounds, Dakota Grappler rankings. He has a double arm bar hooked up. Lucina's going to try to come up, gets that arm free on the far side. Call still working, trying to walk around the head. Call just trying to sit back over the top on Lucina, but Lucina's able to get those hips turned into Call. So right now they're scrambling. Call's able to sit back now over the top. Just tighten the pin for John Call. So give the pin for John Call. First period win by fall or win by pin. So the fall for Call here in the first period, 18-0. 1-127. The Brody Seelig, 7th grader out here, wrestling Gallagher Wheeler. Wheeler's going to go in, double leg takedown. So he has the 3-point takedown for Wheeler. Wheeler going to work an armbar, grabs the far wrist. Just going to try to walk this one over nice and slow as you'll start picking up near fall. Has the near fall coming to him, the win by pin for Wheeler. Well, that takes us to 133. So looking at that Olson Accounting match recap, 4 pins for Central Cass as they picked up second period, or a pin in a minute 48. Jack Glennon over Hans. Then it was Jorson and a pin in 3:42 over Fromke at 114. Call over Lucina in the first period by fall at 121 pounds, and now Wheeler over Seelig at 127. 24-0 lead here with the Olson Accounting dual recap. And now we're at 133 with Grayson Lyons for Lisbon. Lyons wrestling Schneider, Simon Schneider for Central Cass. So Lyons in on the high crotch on Schneider. Schneider trying to keep those hips up underneath them. And Lyons is walking it up. He's going to elevate, has to return him safely down to the mat. Steps through, has the leg turk, goes immediately into a crossface. As you see that with a kind of becoming a popular finish off of the double leg shot is to hit that leg turk right away. Comes up with the crossface and now picking up near fall. Here for Lisbon is Grayson Lyons. So under 35 seconds remaining. Get their 8 weight class up here. So 33, Lyons and Schneider. That's a 1-point escape after the 3 near fall. Lyons has the lead, 15 seconds remaining in the first period. And that does it for the first period. Score 6-1 in the match. Lions has the 5-point lead. Neutral is the call by Schneider to start the second period. And one for a cross ankle pick there. Lions not able to secure the ankle, goes back in. Is working inside ties with Schneider. Now goes collar tie. Has the far wrist. Schneider hand fighting. Collar tie by Lions. Lions with a lot of pressure pushing into Schneider. Keeps him backing up. Now Schneider able to circle back in. Lions goes 2-on-1. Schneider circles away. Back here with Grace and Lions to the center of the mat. Down to a minute 18, stall call. Lions drops down, outside single. Schneider hit the nice hard down block into a sprawl on Lions. Lions trying to snatch it up. Schneider still doing a good job sprawling out. Lions hunting for the far ankle, still in on the near side leg. Has to watch the potentially dangerous. Do a lot of work and then get the potential dangerous call. Now under 50 seconds remaining. Here's Lyons, stands up to his feet, gonna try to hit the return. Schneider still doing a good job. Not able to get the whizzer in there as Lyons with the forward trip in the takedown. So Schneider misses the whizzer, not able to counter it. Lyons with the forward trip for the 3-point takedown. Has the 9-1 lead, 25 seconds remaining. Lions working half Nelson, has the far wrist caught, trying to drag Schneider up and over. Final 5 seconds of our second period. Here for Grace and Lions. The Lions coming off a 5th place finish at the CenterCast Letterman's Tournament. First action of the season, out with a football injury the first half of the season. Back in the lineup for Lisbon at 133. And they're off the whistle. Lions tried to quad pod, not able to clear the hips. Now hits this inside leg, stand up, hand fighting with Schneider. Schneider's been warned for stalling, gets Lions back down on the mat. Working the edge. Schneider's got to make a decision. If he can't return him, he's going to take the stall or let him go. So looking for a stalling, the 1 point. Now the escape coming as Lions with the escape. Our score 11-1. We're in the third period. 11-1 is our match score with that escape here. 6-1 at the end of the first, 10-1 end of the second. The escape by Lions makes it 11-1. Or I should say the stall warning and then the escape makes their score 11-1. Here's Lion working far side. Has that far wrist working up to the elbow. Looked like he had a high crotch shot. There's Schneider with the high crotch. Lions with the down block and the sprawl. Hits the cross faced on Schneider. And he'll pick up the takedown. 14-1 with that 3-point takedown. Schneider with the sit out. Lions going to see if he can drag him back around. Schneider working the wrist. Across the seat belt there. Lions not able to get a turn. Final 5 seconds of our third period. As looks like we're going to be a 14-1 win by major decision. The 4 points for the Broncos on the scoreboard. Now down 24-4.
Winner by decision, Grayson, Lions.
That'll put us up to 139. Logan Anthony and Ian Anderson. So Anderson out here at 139, making the weight for Lisbon. Anderson and Anthony. Ian wrestled 145 at the Letterman's tournament down here at 139. 2-pound growth allowance after Christmas. Weigh 141 today. We're 24-4 up on the Bank North scoreboard. Anthony's going for a headlock on Anderson. Anderson's going to push the elbow and slip the head through for the 3-point takedown. Anderson going to work on top. Minute 12 remaining, first period. Now it's crossface over the top. Anthony on his belly, now gets back up to his base. Anderson goes ankle, far ankle, and a stand-up, and Anderson hammers down on the cradle, looking for the Agassi Egg precision move of the match here for Ian Anderson. Off the stand-up, has the cradle, is going to belly out, and Anderson working for a fall as he hammered the cradle on Logan Anthony on the stand-up. Anthony trying to survive with 45 seconds remaining. On the edge of that, a pin for Ian Anderson. First period win by fall for Anderson off the cradle. Your Agassi Egg precision move of the match there for Ian Anderson. Go back and replay that one a few times for Agassi Egg precision play or precision move of the match for Ian Anderson. Your local precision planning deal, Agassi Precision Egg in Hillsboro. Call 701-436-2119 or visit plannerdoc.com. And Griffin Greenlee going out for Lisbon. So Greenlee and Quitschreiber here at 145 pounds. So we'll say it was a win by fall for Anderson in 122. Unofficially. And now Greenlee, Quitschreiber, Griffin Greenlee coming off a third place finish from the Central Cass Letterman's tournament. Also placed third last year at the state tournament. Wrestling Ben Quitschreiber for Central Cass. Central Cass Quitschreiber placed or was a state qualifier last year at 133 pounds for Central Cass in Division A wrestling. Quitschreiber with the escape. We're 3-1 in the match. 24-10 the dual score. Cradle locked up and the takedown as Greenlee takes the points. And wrestlers out on the edge of the mat. Back to the center for a restart. 6-1 is the match score. Here between Quitschreiber and Griffin Greenlee. Greenlee, the latest rankings for Dakota Grappler. Let's see if I can have those. So that's off the whistle. Quitschreiber just trying to quad pod. Outside leg stand-up attempt. Greenlee working underneath. Gonna let Quitschreiber go. Final 15 seconds. So Greenlee ranked number 4 at 145, Class B. Nice ankle pick by Greenlee. With the 1-point escape and the takedown by Greenlee, we're 9-2 at the end of the first period. 9-2 is your score. Greenlee against Quitschreiber of Central Cass. In neutral position. Start at 145 in the second period. So we'll just hold and center the mat. Greenlee is going to hit the go behind, rips him down, and no takedown. As Quitschreiber hit a nice hip heist back through, just used the momentum by Greenlee and grabbed his head, but Greenlee now with the takedown. So another takedown is 12-2. Greenlee's going to keep the pressure. Now the escape for Quitschreiber. 12-3. Greenlee in on another double leg on Quitschreiber. This time he's going to take him over to his back. Has the arm locked up. Going to try to tighten this up. After the takedown, he has 3 near fall. So 18-3. And that's a win by tech fall. So Greenlee led 9-2 after the first period. Closes this one out by tech fall 18-3. We're 15-24 in the duel. Going into 152 pounds.
For Central Cass, Hunter Parisian. For Lisbon, Ryan Eng.
Ryan Eng for Lisbon. Coming off that Central Cass Letterman's Championship at 152 pounds. Got himself into that championship match. And the eventual title at 152 with a couple of come-from-behind wins for Ryan Eng. So Eng able to wrestle that can stay kind of calm, cool, collected. When he's down by points, able to come from behind and win that 152-pound title at the Letterman's. Out here, facing Hunter Parisian of Central Cass. Hanging on a high crotch. And not able to turn the corner. Parisian was able to square up again with Eng. So Eng not able to secure that takedown. Looked like he was going to hit the goal behind. He had kind of a cradle up. Double by Parisian. Chin whip by Eng. And good scramble. As Eng was going to have to go back. Spikes the ankle. Has the 3-0 lead here at 152 pounds with that takedown. So good scramble between both wrestlers. Eng comes out on top of that one with the 3-0 lead at 152 pounds. And the wrestlers back to the center of the mat, called out. So Ryan Eng ranked number 5 at 152 pounds in Class B, Dakota Grappler rankings, and 160 pounds was Hunter Parisian, ranked number 7 at 160. He's down here at 152 pounds, and that was for Class A rankings. Parisian was number 7 at 160 pounds Class A. So wrestling down here, and Eng has the armbar locked up on Parisian. Pretty tight. Parisian forced to go over with that double armbar, and the win by fall for Ryan Eng in the first period in 156 for Ryan Eng. And once he got that double armbar, that just put a bunch of pressure on Parisian's shoulders. And it's either tear your shoulder up or you got to go over on that one. That was a tight armbar, a lot of pressure on the shoulders for Parisian. And we're 21-24 in favor of the Broncos. In favor of the Squirrels going into 160 pounds. So 160, Iverson Cooney taking on Cruz Ranke. Ranke coming off a championship at the Letterman's tournament, hits the go behind. The Broncos string together back-to-back championships at the Letterman's from 52, 60, and 72. It was Eng, Ranke, and Eli Lyons. Now a nice chin drop. He's going to roll him over. He has the underhook here on the near side. The chin caught on the far side. Going to try to come over the top. Now goes north-south. This is pretty tight reverse half. The nice bridge by Iverson Cooney. Cooney's not giving up yet, as there's a minute 15 remaining in the first period. Ranke has the takedown in the near fall. He's kind of north-south, has the underhook arm over on the near side, across the face on the far side. And Ranke's just going to try to settle in now. The big bridge by Iverson Cooney. Ranke ranked number 2 at 160 pounds for Class B Dakota Grappler rankings. Ranke coming off a 4th place finish last year at the state tournament for Cruz at 139 pounds. So it's placed 4th at the state tournament twice. And the win by fall for Cruz Ranke. And the Broncos will take the lead in the duel now, 27-24, going into 172. So we're up at 172 pounds. Letterman's champ at 172, Eli Lyons, is wrestling Aiden Peterson. Lyons in on a double leg shot on Peterson. And we're 6-2 early in this one, 1:35. 2 takedowns for Lyons. Now 3 takedowns. Lyons in the situation position. 27-24 is the dual score. Lyons working around the top into the inside cradle. Going to try to force this around the head. Now he's going to scoop the leg and turk it. Has the leg turked on the backside. This is pretty tight with the cradle. Just kind of fell into that cradle. And he's going to pick up a couple near fall. So he gets the 2 near fall for Lyons. Down to 35 seconds remaining here for Eli Lyons over Aiden Peterson in the first period, up 11-2. That's a 2 near fall, 3 takedowns, 2 near fall for Lyons. Down to 24 seconds remaining. Lyons has it double or armbar on the near side. Going to catch this, has the shoulder blocked on the far side, kind of doubled up underneath. Going to pick up near fall with 13 seconds remaining in the first period. Looking for 4 near fall, trying to get a pin at the end of the period. 5 seconds remaining for Lyons to work a fall here, and Peterson to get into the next period. And time expires, the 4 near fall for Lyons. The duel 27-24. Yep, so the score is 15-2 with the 4 near fall. Well, the 4 near fall scored 27-24 in the duel. Lisbon with the lead now. In the second period, clock has not started. Start the clock. And Lyons doubles, gets the double overs on Peterson. And Lyons comes back around, head and arm, reverses it. Peterson had caught Lyons with the double overs trying to throw him. And Peterson caught him, stopped him. Lyons was able to regain and comes with a big head and arm over the top for Eli Lyons. He's up 18-2 with the takedown. And still working near fall, and that does it with the 4 near fall for Lyons. So we're 22-12. Tech fall, 32-24. So 189 pounds, 32-24. Looking at that Olson Accounting recap. Central Cass picked up 3 pins starting at 107 114 and 121 pounds. Or I should say picked up 4 pins starting at 107 through 127 pounds. It was Glennon over Hans, Jorson over Fromke, Call over Lacina, and Wheeler over Seelig. Lisbon picked up their first win by Grayson Lyons, win by major decision, as it was 14-1 win by major decision. Grayson Lyons over Simon Schneider at 133, 139 pounds. Ian Anderson with the minute 22 pin in a nice cradle, just hammered the cradle over the top at 139. Dual score 24-10, 145 pounds. Greenlee with a win by tech fall in the second period. Dual score 24-15, 152. It was Ryan Eng with the first period win by fall. Minute 56 over Hunter Parisian. Dual score 24-21. And the win by fall for Lacina. So Riley Lacina comes out, wins by fall at 189. And that'll bring us to it looks like our last match, as Zach Ward's out there for Lisbon. So at 2:15, first period pin for Lacina at 189, 215 pounds. It's like McCoy Ferguson going out against Zach Ward. Lisbon would take the lead off a pin by Cruz Ranke over Iverson Cooney, 27-24, and then Eli Lyons with the win by foul over Aiden Peterson, with the win by tech fall over Aiden Peterson by a score of 22-12. It was 32-24. Lacina just comes out with a win by fall, and now 38-24 in our duel with our Olson Accounting recap, as we're at 215 pounds. Zach Ward out there for Lisbon. Lisbon wearing the white singlet with the red trim. And McCoy Ferguson for Central Cass. So McCoy Ferguson, state qualifier last year for Central Cass at 215 pounds for Class A. And an elevator by Ward. Ward sets up the elevator on Ferguson, but just missed it. And now he's in on a high crotch. So a 215-pounder here from Lisbon, pulling out a little elevator off the single leg by Ferguson, just not able to get all the way over the top, and now Ferguson with the takedown. So Ferguson up 3-0 in the first period. Ferguson going armbar, and looks like we have injury time. So not sure what happened out there off that armbar by Ferguson, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to step away. This is YourLiveEvent.com.
Insurance is your friendly neighborhood team of qualified insurance professionals celebrating over 40 years of service. As an experienced independent insurance agency, they have access to highly rated insurance companies and can shop around to find you an affordable solution for farm, crop, business, home, and auto insurance. Visit them at one of their locations in Lisbon, Winter, or Rutland and get a free quote started today. For more information, go to nd-insure.com.
Give them the freedom to grow with the peace of mind of security and safety.
Let me do my thing. So get ready, get up, get ready, yeah.
America's Best Checking for Students from Bell Bank makes it easy to let them do their thing.
It's what it's all about.
Visit
All right, folks, injury time over here as we're back to action at 215 pounds. Zach Ward of Lisbon, McCoy Ferguson. Ward in the bottom position. Ward tried to work an elevator on Ferguson for that first takedown. Ferguson is able to scramble out of it. Ward stands up, nice hip heist. 1 point escape. We're 3-1 with 5 seconds. Good job by Ward getting up, scoring at the end of the first period. Now 3-1, he's down by 2 points going into the second period. Odd number matches. Yeah, Central Cass has choice, and they will choose bottom position. And Ferguson off the whistle, and a couple knee slides out. Matt returned, and Ward was able to kind of keep that chicken wing hooked in there. He's fighting with Ferguson right now. Ferguson's trying to stay off his back and keep from exposing for a near fall. Ward's just got to roll back with this and to get the near fall. Got to count. Ward's just got to keep that and just roll back now and not get out of position. His hips are a little bit too far away, too much room there, and Ferguson's going to roll around for the 2-point reversal. It was a count, but no points. So we are 3-1 after the first period in this match. Now the 2-point reversal. As Ward had that chicken wing in, his hips, a little bit too much separation in there, and McCoy Ferguson was able to spin back around for the reversal. Now with a minute remaining. We are in the second period, now 55 seconds. 5-1 with the 2-point reversal. McCoy Ferguson has the 4-point lead. And wrestlers off the edge of the mat. They go back to the center for the restart. All right, on the start, knee slide. Now outside leg stand up by Ward. Took a page from Ferguson off the whistle. Now quad pod up and clasping called on Ferguson. So point coming to Ward, still has him locked up. Oh, and got away with another one. Could have dinged him twice. I'm not sure if you can ding somebody twice on the clasp, but had him again when he went down. So we got the 1 point coming to Ward. We're 5-2, 3-point lead here for McCoy Ferguson. In the second period, 20 seconds remaining. Looks like Central Cass is open at heavyweight today. Quad pod, knee slide, not able to get any separation as McCoy Ferguson followed up Zach Ward. Down to 5 seconds. Ward back up to his bait. Ferguson putting a lot of pressure, and Ward's going to escape without giving up near fall. We're 5-2. After the penalty with the clasp, Ward's going to pick neutral. He needs the takedown to tie it up. Takedown and near fall to take for the lead. Coy Ferguson light on the toes here as Ward with the pressure, the forward pressure. Backs Ferguson up to the edge of the mat, still going into him. And back neutral. Ferguson has to watch it. As he backs straight off the mat, he's going to have to try to circle in. He gets close to that edge. Here's Ward. Ward goes into him. Ferguson drops down, takes a swipe at the knee. Ward still going into Ferguson. Now, nice arm drag. Here's Ward. Ward's going to try to drag him down. If a hand goes on the match by Ferguson, Ward's going to drag him. Ferguson sits out on Ward. Oh. And just about had it. He went to that kind of that chicken wing with the tilt in and not able to secure the takedown on the edge of the mat. We're 5-2 as Ferguson first steps are backwards. Now nice double leg shot. Time that up good here on Ward. Ward's going to try to hip toss. Still no takedown awarded, but the head and arm by Ferguson has Ward in some trouble. The pin for McCoy Ferguson. So we're 38-30. 38-30, third period win by fall. So 285. Looks like we're open. And that's our final as we update the scoreboard. So that is your final score, 44-30. The Broncos with the win. They will improve their dual record to 4-1 on the season. I believe Central Castle dropped down to 4-5 overall as both teams active again this week. We're going to go into a step away as we'll come back, heading out to Enbridge Energy Wrestler of the Duel. We're going to hit our Olsen Accounting Duel recap, and then we'll head out of here and get ready for more wrestling action on Thursday evening here on YourLiveEvent.com, but we'll be back after a word from our sponsors.
Thanks/student checking to learn more. Or stop into a branch near you to open an account today. Let me do my thing. Bell Bank, member FDIC.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
All right, welcome back here at YourLiveEvent.com as the Lisbon Broncos, your final Lisbon over Central Cass by a score of 44-30 in your Enbridge Energy Wrestler of the Duel here. Life takes energy from Enbridge, energy for life, Enbridge.com for your career opportunities. And your Enbridge Energy Wrestler of the Duel going out to Ryan Eng with that ranked matchup at 152 pounds. Eng with the first period win by fall in, I believe it was a minute and 53 seconds at 152 pounds. Or 1 minute and 56 seconds over Hunter Parisian of Central Cass. A couple of ranked wrestlers going at it. And Ryan Eng coming out on top of that with that first period win by fall. And he is your Enbridge Energy Wrestler of the Duel. And also already handed out your Agassi Egg Precision Move of the Match, but that went to Ian Anderson of Lisbon Broncos. Anderson at 139 pounds with a monster cradle in that first period, as he wins by fall in his varsity lineup debut for Lisbon in minute 22 seconds unofficially. And Ian Anderson, your Agassi Egg Precision Move of the Match. Agassi Precision Egg, your local precision planning dealer. Agassi Precision Egg in Hillsborough. Call 701-436-2119 or visit planner.com. And that is your Agassi Egg Precision Move of the Match. Enbridge Energy Wrestler of the Match. Now into our Olsen Accounting. Going to the duel recap. We started this duel at 107 pounds. The Broncos, some new faces in the lineup at 107. It was Theo Hans, a 7th grader, wrestling Jack Glennon of Central Cass. And Glennon comes out with a first period pin in a minute 48. And Central Cass led by a score of 6-0 at 114 pounds. It was Derek Jorson wrestling Micah Fromke. Jorson, the #1 wrestler, and Class A wrestling at 107 pounds. Bumps up to wrestle Micah Fromke. And Jorson wins by fall over Micah Fromke in 3:42. Central Cass up 12-0, 121 pounds. John Call over Jack Lucina by fall in the first period. And Call ranked number 4 in the state of North Dakota at 114 pounds, bumped up to 121, and he wins wins by fall and puts Central Cass up by a score of 18-0. Then 127 pounds, it was Gallagher Wheeler of Central Cass, winner by fall over Brody Seeley, got 127 pounds. Moving on to 133, Grayson Lyons able to put some points on the board for Lisbon and stop the momentum of Central Cass at 133. Lyons, winner by major decision by a score of 14-1 over Simon Schneider. Dual score 24-4, 139 pounds. Ian Anderson with that monster cradle in the first period, minute 22 win by fall over Logan Anthony. Our score was 24-10 in favor of Central Cass. 145 pounds. It was Griffin Greenlee over Ben Quickschreiber. By technical fall in the second period, 18-3 tech fall, 24-15. Central Cass still with the lead. 152 pounds, that ranked matchup between Ryan Eng of Lisbon and Hunter Parisi and Central Cass, and then came out on top of that with a first period win by fall in 156 after a really hard, really tight armbar, putting a lot of pressure on Parisian's shoulder. It was 24-21 in favor of Central Cass after 152 pounds. Going into 160, it was Cruz Ranke, winner by fall in the first period over Iverson Cooney. Broncos with the lead, 27-24, their first lead of the duel. 172 pounds, it was Eli Lyons, winner by fall over Aiden Peterson. Winner by tech fall over Aiden Peterson at 172, 22-12. Her dual score with that 5 points was 32-24 of the Broncos. 189, Riley Lucina came out with a nice first period pin over Sam Schneider. Lisbon led 38-24. At 215 pounds, good battle up into the second period and then into the third, but it was McCoy Ferguson with that third period win by fall over Zach Ward. Dual score 38-30 in favor of Lisbon. And then Brock Lyons comes out, picks up a forfeit at 285 pounds or heavyweight in your final dual score up on the Bank North scoreboard. 44-30 in favor of the Lisbon Broncos as that wraps up a doubleheader this evening. The earlier duel between Lisbon and Central Cass in the girls varsity duel, Lisbon won that by a score of 54-24. So both squads of the Broncos, boys and girls squads, picking up wins in dual action this evening. As you look at the Broncos next in action on Thursday as they will wrestle a quadrangular with Kindred Napoleon and Northern Cass. That's over in Gwinner. And that'll be the first wrestling in the Gwinner North Sergeant Bobcat Gymnasium since 1994. So a long drought over there. Yeah, as they're wrestling back inside Gwinner Gymnasium for, I guess we'll call it a special edition next or on Thursday with that quad against Kindred Napoleon and Northern Cass. And then Central Cass also with a triangular on Thursday as they'll take on West Fargo Horace. And Breck Wap and Central Cass busy during the weekend as they'll travel to Rugby for that Panther Booster Tournament from the 16th to the 17th of January. And then we do have more wrestling on your live event on the 16th of January as Lisbon girls varsity will host Pembina County North in a duel. So a couple of dual team favorites or dual team powerhouses here on the east side of the state in girls wrestling are going to match up on Friday. And I believe that one will be over in the Armory as there's doubleheaders. There's a basketball game here in the main gymnasium. So look for that duel over in the Armory. And you also can catch that on yourliveevent.com, Lisbon versus Pembina County North on Friday. And then we have the Storehawk Girls Tournament down here on Saturday for the one-day Storehawk Girls Wrestling Tournament on the 16th of January. So that's what's ahead wrestling-wise. You can also catch that Storehawk Wrestling Tournament on yourliveevent.com. As we wrap things up here from the Lisbon High School Gymnasium, they have the mats rolled up, getting ready to push the people out of the gym, turn out the lights. So we're going to go ahead and turn out the lights here on this broadcast as this is Brent Dick here on yourliveevent.com. We'll catch you on Thursday over in Gwinner, North Dakota for more high school wrestling on your live event.
When you choose Farmers Union Insurance, you're backed by an insurance policy provider that meets your specific requirements. At Farmers Union Insurance Gullis & Olson Agency, they offer reliable insurance policies from homeowners, farm and ranch, contractors, small businesses, and more. Let Lance, Shelby, and the staff at Gullis & Olson Agency take care of you today. For more information, stop into their office on Main Street in Lisbon for Farmers Union Insurance, Gullis & Olson Agency.
Hi, we're Jim and Bernie Berkemeyer, and we're inviting you on a holiday vacations tour. Join us on a Montreal, Quebec City, and the Canadian Maritimes tour, July 30th to August 9th. Experience picturesque small towns, as well as the historic cities along the Atlantic coast, as we use roads and rails on this Canadian adventure. Visit holidayvacations.com, keyword RJ, to request a brochure, to watch a travel show, and to book this tour.